But oh, you know what?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending our webinar today. My name is Brian Wallingsford with Leavitt Group of Colorado, formerly known as CIA Leavitt Insurance. As many of you already know, we're a full-service agency providing commercial insurance as well as employee benefits. I primarily work with small and medium-sized employers of 10 to 200 employees to help them find creative ways to make benefits easier and more cost-efficient for the employees and the business. With me today is Katie Winland with Human Interest. She's here today to discuss the new Colorado Secure Savings Program and all that entails. With that being said, I will give it away to Katie.
Thank you, Brian. Hi, everybody. My name is Katie Winland. I'm a partner account manager here at Human Interest. We are a turnkey 401k provider, nationally known, and my job is to keep up with different state regulations so that I can help my partners and their clients, small businesses, really stay ahead of these mandates, provide the options so that you can make the best informed decision. And kind of kicking off here, I would like to kind of start about and around how Colorado approved this legislation. So going back into June of 2020, the legislation was passed here. And the reason being is because Americans face a retirement crisis that is finally no longer being ignored. So let's talk about Colorado workforce, right? Nearly half of Colorado's private sector workers, which are over 900,000 people in their prime working years, have no retirement savings at work. Those private sector jobs include those of manufacturing, financial services, professional services, hospitality, and non-government positions. And because of that, a lot of states were seeing a decline on what's going to be coming down the pipeline at around 2035, 36. As I'm sure a lot of you have heard, Social Security Administration, of everything that's happening, people are living longer due to technology, and Social Security is kind of running down. It's not going to run out. It's just we're not going to have the same type of reserves we once did. So now these states are trying to find ways to resolve this so that they're able to help people in all forms of business save for retirement. And that does fall on the employer, however. So kind of talking about that, 67 million Americans currently don't have access to retirement benefits at work across the nation. And $50,000 is the average amount that a person individually is saved by the time they retire. And retirement age, 67 right now, and it's just going to continue to go up with the fact that, again, a lot of us are living a lot longer due to the new technology. And 77%, this was actually pulled in last month, of working Americans are not on track to have that significant savings by the age of 67. So a lot of them aren't even reaching that 50,000 mark. So with that being said, this is the state legislation that's coming to pass. Colorado is the 13th state to pass a retirement legislation. There's 28 states so far that have passed them. We're going to be launching here beta in October. Not, the state is not Human Interest, obviously. We don't run the state program, but it's going to impact any employer that has 5 W-2 employees or more. Now that's part-time and full-time. The state says we're not going to monitor hours. So if they just have 5 W-2 employees, if the owner is also a W-2 employee and reaches that 5, then yep, they have to do something. So with that said, by either raise of hands or in the chat, before I go to the next slide and kind of expand on the program and the differences and the options you have, how many of you right now are currently offering a retirement benefit? All right. And would you mind letting me know, Brian, how many are, because I'm not able to see that, how many are currently have a retirement benefit so I can speak to them before we go to the next slide?
Yeah, you bet. So far, it looks like we've got one out of the attendees so far that actually did raise their hand.
So with that said,
Oh,
the state
there's
says if you,
three, four.
so talking to this one person, and for those that might have a simple IRA, that does still qualify as a benefit, but the state pretty much says, if you currently have a qualified plan, which is offering a current simple IRA, a 401k, or a 403b if you're a nonprofit, and you're a private sector business, then you meet the state's requirement. And this mandate does not pertain to you. As long as you have it in effect and you're offering it, you are not inept to have to worry about penalties or having to really do anything else with the state mandate. Now, with that being said, for those that have the 401k in place or simple IRA, it's really good to do a benchmark analysis. If you haven't had one done, because I do work with legislation in the Department of Labor, they do recommend you have a side-by-side like cost analysis, just like you would benefits, right? With another provider every 3 years at the max to ensure that the employees are not being overcharged fees in the asset. So for you, one person, it's important if you haven't had one done to reach out to a financial advisor, or Human Interest would be happy to do one for you at no cost, just to ensure you're in compliance with the Department of Labor. So moving forward, what is the Colorado Secure Savings Program, right? So it's a state-sponsored Roth IRA. It's funded through automatic payroll deduction starting at 5% of the employee's payroll. Okay. And what does that mean? That means the employer is not having to match. So you do not have to offer a match if you enroll in the state program. Okay. It doesn't cost you any hard dollar costs for administration to enroll in the state program. However, you will have to pay somebody, or if you do it, and yourself as an employer, all the administration that it takes to get everything set up. It also is not going to integrate with any payroll, so there's going to have to be manual contributions uploaded through a CSV file every pay cycle. The state is working with Vestwell, who does offer other options as well. Vestwell is similar to Human Interest. They offer 401ks and simple IRAs if you don't want to go with the state program route. And who is this? This is going to impact. Again, any business with 5 employees to 500 employees that are currently not offering a qualified retirement benefit will currently have to offer one. Now, if you have 5 employees and 5 employees don't want to enroll, okay, so the state will have a process that, and they'll have a window that the employees and the owner can opt out, okay? But if you just have one employee that wants to put away towards retirement through payroll, you are now on the hook to do the full process for that one employee. So please keep that in mind. As of right now, penalties are still being discussed. There was a meeting last week with the state. Right now, there's a few different things coming to play, but last I heard, it was $100 fine for every employee that you have that you do not enroll in the program and don't go through the proper steps if those employees wanted to opt out. And we can dive deeper into that, but I'd say we can have that conversation offline. So far, before I go any further, has there been any questions that have popped up and I can answer?
Nothing so far. And if you do have a question, feel free and just put it in the chat down below, and we'll flag those questions as they come in. And address those. We'll have Katie answer those whenever they come in.
Yeah. And one thing I wanted to update that was just recently changed by the state is what employers, right? We said you have to have 5 W-2 employees to be mandated. However, your employees have to be employed with you for 180 days. And you have to have been in business for 2 years. Okay. If you have 4, 5, or 6 employees and 3 of them have not been employed for 180 days, you don't have to do anything. It pushes out the amount of time you're going to be given, and the state hasn't released that yet. We should be having that in the next 3 weeks. And I'm happy to send follow-up emails as I get more updated information, because we are rolling this out. The state is in October with an indefinite date for January, February, March of 2023. And then they're going to put, time restrictions saying, okay, if you have 5 to 50 employees, you have 6 months to get this done, or, and then if you have this is going to go out in phases. But I'm the one keeping up with the state. So I'm happy to put you on my newsletter as well, if you need any more information following what I'm providing today. So those 3 things, okay, you have to have 5 W-2 employees. All 5 have to be employed for at least 180 days or more. And the employer has had to have been in business for 2 years. Now, if you are acquiring another business that's been in business for 2 years, that I'd have to get clarified for you. And I'm happy to email Hunter Riley, who's the state treasurer overseeing this. I do have direct communication with him. So if you have any specific questions that I'm not addressing on this call, you can also feel free to email me after this, and I would be happy to go to Hunter Riley and get those addressed for you. So what are the differences? What are the qualified plans, and what are your options? Ideally, you have a Roth IRA, which is post-tax. So there's no pre-tax benefit to the employer. Again, you don't and cannot offer any type of match or contribution. You yourself as the employer can also enroll. It's a Roth IRA, so it's going to be very limited. There's going to be a few different fund options that the state has selected with a couple financial advisor firms. However, you're very limited on how much you as an employer, how much the employees can put away. And with a 401k, which is what the state's recommending, actually, if you have a means to offer it, you get tax credits. There's available right now, actually through the Secure Act. If you've not offered a 401k, or you started a 401k last year or this year, you actually qualify for up to $15,000 in tax credits to help offset administrative costs with the 401k. Okay, so in reality, you're pretty much, it's a wash, because the Secure Act is going to give you a credit as long as you have at least one non-highly compensated employee, which means you have one employee that makes less than $130,000 a year. Now you get a credit per every single employee you have, just for offering a 401k. They do not have to enroll in the 401k to get a credit. Okay, that's something we can also address and talk further offline if you want more information on that. The other benefits with the 401k, wide range of investments, very customizable based on the type of employees you have, and the type of income and salaries that you're paying out, and also if you want to enroll in the plan. Also, 401k allows multiple things like matching, safe harbor, vesting schedules where you can contribute to the employee. And if the employee leaves within a certain amount of time, the money you contributed actually doesn't go to the employee. It actually comes back into a bucket that now pays your administrative costs for the plan. So there's some really unique things to protect small business and to be creative from a tax advantage, a tax shelter. Employees can put away more, instead of up to $20,500 a year. And if you or the employees are over the age of 50, you can put an additional $7,000 away. Okay, so that's pre-taxed money. And an employer with end of the year bonuses, you can actually put away up to $62,000 pre-taxed money if you're profitable on the business. And you're allowed to match or not match with the 401k. So there's a lot more flexibility than with a Roth IRA. Any questions?
Nothing so far.
Great. So we're almost finished here, but ideally, we're going to be talking about just, again, the 3 differences is you have a Roth IRA, a traditional IRA, and a 401k. So they're the standard qualified plans that the state says that you can have to meet this mandate requirement. So the Roth, just think of it similar to the state program, but every single one of these are going to be set up with automatic, employees will be auto-enrolled at a percentage of their paycheck every pay cycle, and it will increase by 1% every year. Now the employees can log in to the state site or the Best Well, or if they're with any other 401k provider. And they can change that. They can drop it down to 1%, 2%, 5% if they have a slow month. So please don't feel that this is going to really burden the employees, because there's a lot of flexibility for them no matter which way they go. But Roth IRA is post-tax, no pre-tax deductions for the employees or for the employer. A simple IRA there is. Traditional IRAs, obviously there are. And then a traditional 401k and a Roth 401k. And so you have a lot of flexibility to meet those contribution limits depending on what you want. Again, simple IRA and 401k offer state tax credits. The state program will not. Most 401k providers integrate with several payroll companies, which reduces your liability and your admin tasks associated, because the file fee just goes right back and forth. You don't have to worry about manual potential errors with manual uploads to payroll. And as of right now, I think we're going to be moving on. And a little bit different, this is the last page here. There's different types of providers out there. Okay, so a lot of small businesses prior to Human Interest and the Best Wells of the world, traditional 401k was either too expensive, it was too much work. Small businesses didn't know how to offer the benefit or make it affordable for them because they couldn't afford to hire some HR person. Well, you don't need that in today's world with the way 401k providers are making the change. But with Human Interest, we're 100% automated. So we do everything. We're simple software technology that will actually do all your IRS testing for you, your non-discrimination testing, all your compliance, employee enrollment, handle everything related to your employees. So if you did look at wanting to talk further about a 401k and want to potentially look into Human Interest, we are very automated. We're the traditional 401k provider. There's still a lot of manual tasks for the plan sponsor, which is the person signing the final 5,500 tax document. But we prep, file, and sign that. 5,500 is not done by a CPA or an accountant. It's done by you, your controller, your CFO, or by the third-party administrator, TPA, record keeper. And in this instance, we do it all. We just keep you completely in compliance. And that's kind of how we're a little bit different. So that's kind of where we're at. And that's my time. So I just left up the window for some more questions.
Thank you very much, Katie. I appreciate you taking the time this morning to go over all that with us. For everyone who is attending and everyone who registered, I will be sending a follow-up email out just so that you've got Katie's information. If you wanted some more general information, or if you wanted questions about signing up or anything else that we've talked about this morning, you can either reply to my email that I sent to you, or you can respond directly to Katie, either by just forwarding my email to her or letting her know that you were part of this presentation. And if there's any other questions regarding anything benefits related, obviously we're here to help everyone out. So whether it's in regards to your own employee benefits or some 401k stuff you have going or anything else, feel free and reach out. But again, I'll be following this up. The video was recording. So we will be having a link sent out as well if you want to share that with anybody else that you know that may be having some interest in this. Looking to see if there's any questions that have come up. I don't see any that have come up. If there are further questions that you think of later, like I said, respond to that email, and we'll be happy to get those answered for you. I think at this time, we'll go ahead and sign off here and move forward. But again, any questions, let me know, let Katie know, and we'll get those addressed for you. Katie, thanks again. Thanks to all the attendees this morning. Appreciate your time, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week.
Yeah.